things. So I can't tell if I've really gone on this rant before or not, but because it's kind of been in my head and discussed a lot at work, I figured I'd kind of throw it out there as either a refresher or as relatively new information because I can't keep track of what I've recorded sometimes. And it's kind of about respecting artists. And when I say artists, I don't just mean tattoo artists, I don't just mean illustrators, I mean artists from any kind of artist craftspeople, like someone whose job and their business is their trade. And this can apply from like cosmetologists to leather workers to bakers to all these different people. And tradesmen, craftsmen, artists, whatever, have a tendency to get a lot of shit from non-artists a lot. And I'm not just saying this because I've gotten some shit or I've gotten my feelings hurt. I'm saying this because I've witnessed it happen dozens of times and have talked to other people who have had this happen to them too, and how basically non-artists have tried to screw them over, and I think it's really stupid. So I work in an industry that is 100% commission. I'm my own boss. And I love tattooing, but sometimes it drives me up the fucking wall because it's kind of hard dealing with customers. Because a lot of people that get tattooed, I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying my viewers, I'm not saying specifics, but a lot of people seem to be under this impression that their tattoo artists aren't real people. Like, artists have money fairies delivering like financial security to them, or it's like they forget that we have bills to pay and we still have to go to the grocery store and we still have to pay our rent and all of these things that everybody has to do because artists will get neglected a lot. And I don't like when shit happens. Like, I don't like when potential customers complain that my price is too high and how they have a buddy that can do it for 20 bucks. It's like, okay, have your buddy do it for 20 bucks, come back in 6 months and I'll fix it for 200. I don't like that attitude. I don't like the whole, well, you like your job, why don't you do it for free? Because I have bills to pay. How weird. And it's just like, oh, well, I bet you can get this done in no time. Do you know how fast I work? The biggest reason why I get mad at people disrespecting artists, especially when it comes to pricing and trying to get the cheapest price and screw people over, is when you are paying an artist for their time, you are paying them for the time to do the project, their expertise behind it, and all of their years of training behind that. I didn't wake up and was able to draw. I'm still not as good of an artist as I would like to be. I'm still constantly working and trying to improve my work. All the time. I go to work and my job is to draw on paper and on people, and then I go home and I draw because there's no days off. And I'm sure this is for all tradespeople, where your hobbies are actually your work, so there's no getting away from it. So it's not like it's always just fun. Sometimes it does feel more like work than it needs to be. I don't like this kind of disrespect. And some of it, I know, it comes from not understanding, and it comes from not really thinking about it. And it's kind of like artists aren't permanent people. And I know that sounds a little odd, but it's like when their use isn't, it's like when they don't have a use to you, they don't exist kind of thing. And it happens all over the place. I think it's really, really weird. But I keep seeing it happen. I figured I'd throw this out there, but I don't like that attitude at all. And I want more non-artists to understand how much they're hurting by being disrespectful. And part of what makes me appreciate my job more is I did work retail and coffee and like minimum wage jobs for like 6-7 years or longer before I started in this. And I'm amazed at this concept of the customer is always right. Because even as a kid, my understanding was that the customer was always wrong, because as a customer, I don't know what's going on. The person who is assisting me and doing their job knows what's going on. I don't. So I was always under the impression that the customer is more likely to be wrong than the person that works there. So I never understood this customer is always right thing. And I don't like that it is entirely necessary to sit there and baby people through everything. I'm not saying this to call anybody out. I'm not saying this to be a bitch, which is something I'm very good at doing. I'm saying this because I want people to kind of like stop and think before they decide to be an asshole to another person. Whether it's in food service or in a specialized service like what I do. And I keep getting asked, oh, when is your tattoo apprenticeship over? When are you graduated to artist? I said, well, it's going to happen soon. Some people will be apprentices for years, and I've been a working apprentice for a little more than a year. And that happens. But it's just kind of tricky, this whole thing, because the reason why I'm my own boss is, yes, there are shop owners that tell me what to do. As the apprentice, I'm the bottom rung of the ladder. I have to do the grunt work, like all the cleaning and answering the phones and taking out everybody's trash and running around like a headless chicken. I'm used to that. I don't care. It helps build character and gets me into the industry. But it's like the customers that come in the door and waste everybody's time. And I'm not talking about their browsing. I'm talking about they're asking questions and ignoring artist advice for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then they only want a bad tattoo. That the artist will tell them, well, don't do that because it's not going to heal well. Well, I want to do that. Okay, well, if it looks like shit in 2 years, that's not on me, that's on you for not listening to my advice. And generally when the artists are giving you advice, it's not because they're trying to tell you your idea is wrong, it's because they're trying to save you long-term headache. And again, this happens to any kind of craftsman kind of thing, because I'm sure if you hire a house painter to do something and you want to do it a different way than what they tell you to do, you're probably going to pay for it at the end. Like, it's just that kind of thing keeps happening, and I don't like it. Anyway, it's just a rant. I've been like too ranty about the whole respect the artist thing for like 3 months now, especially because at work I have done a lot more tattooing and dealing with a lot more customers, and I don't like dealing with crybabies. I don't like dealing with no-call, no-shows that screw me over, because it's not like I sit in the building and get paid for my time. I get paid for my time when I tattoo, which is the plus minus of the industry, because my income is not consistent. So sometimes people don't want to get tattooed. The summer months are really lean. Like, they want to be doing something else. They want to go outside and have fun. Well, I'd like to have fun too, but I don't have any money because no one gets tattooed. It happens. But, yeah, I don't really know what else to add to that. But anyway, food for thought. Try and be nice to artists, tradespeople. Try and be nice to retail workers. Just please don't be a dick and waste everybody's time. Till next time, Draclings.